You see, you might can bypass the world system, but you cannot bypass God's. You understand? No matter what. You might can take you keeping a secret. The morning after pill. God sees all things, people. You can't trick God. And eventually, your evil, which is fornication, going to be made manifest to all. Take the two sisters, Ohala and Ahala, whatever their name is, Ohala, the two sisters. He's just like their sister, just like the other sister in the Bible. He made it like two cities that continue in whoredoms. And he exposed them in front of their lovers and friends and everybody. That's exactly what happens every time. And then people get mad when they call them out of their name. What are you supposed to call them? Whoredom? Whore? Nobody likes that. Nobody likes to be called a whore. And that goes for men and women. If you sleep with multiple people, you are a whore. That's what a whore is. I'm just being real. That's what you are, a whore. A man whore or a woman whore. That's exactly what you are. And then it's next thing you know, you got that name on yourself. You know, I look at people that are older and I see them still trying to find love. And every 6 months you see them with a different person. That's like, golly, man. You know, I remember a few years ago, a cousin of mine was dating one guy, and then she started dating another guy. And I saw the guy, he looked like the other guy. I'm like, yeah, I met you before, right? And they had that look on their face like, oh, you done let the cat out of the bag. But I think I would have made that mistake if you would have just stayed with them. It wasn't my fault. They look alike. But the dude was, I'm sure they got in the car that day like, who is this? I ain't never met him before. And he never did. You don't want to go through life like that, people. You know, you rather be known as single than a whore. Or married than a whore. Engaged, something. And a lot of people are doing it like they're getting out and paid this. I've saw this before. People get engaged and never get married. Like that seals the deal. I believe with all my heart and all my soul that you need a certificate of marriage. I'm going to tell you why. Jesus said, did he give you a certificate of divorce? A writing of divorce? So if you need paperwork to be divorced, you need paperwork to be married. You know, back in the day in Mobile, there was this thing called common law marriage in the world. But like a few years ago, they did away with common law marriage. You know, marriage rates are down right now. Nobody wants to get married. The only people that seem to get married more than regular folks now is same-sex marriage is going rapid. Regular people ain't even, heterosexual people ain't even getting married anymore. The value of marriage is just fell out the window. A man that finds a wife finds a good thing, people. How hard is that to stomach? Am I saying marriage is going to be perfect? No. I got to say it, dust yourself off and try again. You understand? You know, like a lot of preachers don't even believe in divorcing folks. I'm going to tell you something, people. I got to say, actually, I ain't got to say it. The Bible got to say it. What God put together, now look, I'm going to be very specific right now. What God put together, let no man put asunder. Key word, let no man put asunder. It ain't up to me. That's why preachers these days need to really pray and seek God. You know, I read in the Old Testament when a few people had married outside of what they need to marry, strange women, and they started polluting the land, worshiping other gods and things. And they held a citywide divorce for men to separate from these strange wives and their children. Now I ask myself this question. I'm like, did man do that or did God do it? Do you understand? You see, that's why you got to pray as you preachers out there. Because I guarantee you people, there are people out there in this world that are married that shouldn't be. I'm just being real with you people. And this ain't got nothing to do with race or color. Belief system. But if you keep reading in Corinthians, he said if you wouldn't dwell amongst each other, the non-believer is saved by the believer. I don't agree with Paul on a lot of those teachings. I really don't, because it doesn't make sense. But at the same time, Paul said right after that, how do you know, old man, if you can save your wife? Or old woman, if you can save your husband? Really think about that. A lot of people are in relationships right now, hoping someone would change, not knowing the only being that can straighten a person out is Jesus Christ, is the Lord, the Holy Spirit, who can make straight what God has made crooked. So God has to straighten things out. And God knows the hearts and souls of man. And I don't, people. That scares me, though. But I'm like this, people. If it was allowed, the certificate of divorce was allowed, I believe you can write it. I'm just being real with you, people. I'm not finna force somebody to stay together. You understand? I'm not finna do that. There have been people who've been forced to stay together, and then somebody ended up murdering the other person. Then the preacher hide his hands like, I didn't know nothing was going on. No, you did know. You didn't want to divorce him. Why? You trying to play God. You see? That's why you need discernment in every situation. You know, after so long, after 2 years of somebody coming to your house or coming to the church, telling you they having marriage problems, or somebody beating the hell out of somebody, or this or that, or whatever else going on, they constantly cheating on them. You gonna tell somebody to constantly stay with a cheater? What is wrong with you? That ain't even normal. You know how dangerous this world is? As far as sexually transmitted diseases and such things, and you encouraging people to stay in a fornication, adultery-filled marriage, and then when somebody get AIDS or something, well, the Lord, shut the hell up. Pardon my language, people. I'm not saying every marriage is ordained by God. You know, the Bible gives us characteristics of a virtuous man and a virtuous woman throughout the Bible. It's not all, it gives you a whole chapter on what a virtuous woman is. Then you give you bits and pieces of what a virtuous man or a good man of God is. So what are you looking for when you're seeking marriage? You're seeking somebody on the same page as you. I'm not saying just like you. They better love God like you, the same God at that. Be not unequally yoked with non-believers, people. It's dangerous because you don't know if they will change. And then if you force that marriage, knowing what you know, people, I can relate. I can relate, people. My ex-wife was a pagan, and I forced that marriage. It didn't last. For all you preachers out there that think you know what you're talking about, you don't know nothing. Y'all need to read our Bibles. He said the only way to divorce somebody is what? According to Jesus. Fornication. Sexual immorality. So it is allowed. You know, yeah, God told us to forgive and forgive and forgive and forgive. 70 times 77. But don't be a fool. How many times you gotta forgive somebody? People to take advantage of you. You know, eventually you gotta pray for the Lord to make a way. If that person ain't willing to change from their ways, what you think the way out gonna be? What you think the way out gonna be, people? The majority of times. God's gonna step in, and he's gonna bring it or something. He's gonna do something to fix the situation. Because God knows the hearts and souls of everyone. He knows if that person gonna want to settle down. He knows if that person gonna stay a cheater for the rest of their life. Nobody likes that. It's dangerous. Not only can you get burned by hellfire, you can get burned with sexually transmitted diseases. You can get burned with sexually transmitted diseases. And people are doing it like it's just no tomorrow. You understand? Been there. Well, I will say, that's why I say God knows the hearts, right? God knows the hearts. He knows people who want to be married and not, but you got to scratch that fornication part out. You see, you're starting to give up the goods before you give up the goods. You ain't understanding me. I mean, get up the good before you get the good. The good thing is marriage. You know, people don't even court no more. Courting is one night out that leads to sex. Now you're in a relationship. You don't know this person at all. You don't know if they love God or hate him. You just met them and y'all just hyped up in the moment. Now you're a fornicator. Don't kill the messenger. You understand? It's time for the preaching to change up. Don't encourage girlfriend or boyfriend or none of that. Encourage same-sex union. Yes, encourage it. And that's the right way. You understand? And there's people who are grown teaching your kids the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? Like, people bringing in different people, the kids that met 12 different baby daddies. That's not cool, people. Step back. It's dangerous. Kids confused, this and that. Been there, done that. Watch other people been there and done that. Because I'm telling you, it's built upon sex a lot of times. You really don't know people. I done met people that had sex and had kids by people only to find out the other person was homosexual. Because you didn't know them. You gave up the goods. Or either or. You know, we live in a society where lesbianism is not frowned upon as much as homosexuality, but in reality, it's both the same. Man should not lie with man as he do woman, and woman should not lie with woman as she do man. It's very simple. It shouldn't go that way. You just imagine how many demonic influences you open up to yourselves and others with that spiritual energy. Think about it. You become one with them. Whatever spiritual energy that other person that you're sleeping with has can be transferred. Do you understand, people? But I can't help you do this. You got to call upon the Lord. And ask the Lord to send you somebody right for you and give you patience to wait for that right person to show up, because anything other than that is not of God. I'm just being real, people. You know, I'm just being real with you. Fornication is wrong. So if fornication is wrong, marriage is important. It's important to the Lord. When he talk about the head of the church, he talk about two. He sent the disciples out by two. And I did videos on this, man. Your husband, the husband and wife, supposed to be the power team. That's what it's supposed to be. Powerful. You understand? And the thing is, the devil knows this. That he keep men and women separated. That they lose power. You understand? But just be careful, people. I don't know everything. I know one thing. Fornication is wrong and marriage is good. And abstinence is even better if you can control yourself. If you ain't gonna be married, just don't do nothing. Paul said, I know you're gonna have troubles in the flesh if you remain abstinent. But I always tell, I gotta end up with this story about the preacher that said, the Lord said he can sleep with any woman. He just can't drink, smoke, do none of these things. But the Lord said he can do the most dangerous thing to your body, which is sex. That's how I know a lot of people don't understand scripture. He said it out in the word that fornication is wrong. So how can you be listening to the same Lord Well, it's all right, Lord. The Lord said I can sleep with men and women I can. So the Lord wants you to be a harlot. Come on now, people. That's what the Lord told you. You can sleep with many people. I'm sure the Lord didn't tell Samson that, but it worked out. You know, I don't understand all the Lord's inner workings. You understand? But let's put it this way. If you serve God and continue to call on, he'll turn your misfortune into a victory. Same way with Samson. It's dangerous, people. Like I try to tell people who are trying to be in relationships, be like, and they love to say this. They too jealous. They don't want me to do away with all my old friends. You know why, people? Because most people of the opposite sex, when they have friends of the opposite sex, the intention is gonna be real. That eventually y'all gonna hook up. As a husband and a wife, you don't need no opposite sex friends. You really need same sex friends. You don't, people. It's dangerous. Because that devil always trying to sneak into that door of yours. And when you start having all these outside friends and same sex friends or different sex friends, when you're in a relationship or you married, it's dangerous. I'm going to say marriage because relationship is a word that we use too much. Girlfriend and boyfriend is a word that we use too much. You know, that don't even sound, as a grown man, it's my new girlfriend here. Again, it's my new boyfriend. Like somebody had posted something was like, on Facebook, like, if you post something else saying this my king, this is your fourth king of the year. You understand what I'm saying? Make sure that's your king. What's Beyonce used to say? You should put a ring on it. A lot of y'all ain't trying to put a ring on no fingers. Used to listen to these rappers and stuff that y'all listen to on a regular, telling you to fornicate and sleep around and use your body to get what you want. And then you hear about them, they married. Cardi B married. Beyonce married. A lot of these people that encouraging you to go out there and fornicate, they live in the right way. But guess what? They're going to face their condemnation. They will. If you value marriage so much, why don't you change your music to talk about marriage? Instead of trying to glorify your glory days when you was on the stripper pole. Instead of trying to tell other people, look what I did. Shouldn't when you change, your music change with you? That makes more sense to me. Instead of changing and then turn the music down when your daughter walk in the room, Cardi B. Because you don't want your daughter to listen to this fornication, rude music that you got. But you continue to put it out there for all these youngsters and for the world to see. Because you don't really give a damn. I'm just being real, people. These people do not care about you. But some told them to get married. And now they encourage you not to. Y'all better read between the lines, people. This music industry and this world will destroy you if you let it. You better start trying to live for the Lord. Flee fornication. And if you're not trying to get married with somebody, learn to contain. You understand? I'm not somebody who's gonna, you know what, forget it. Lord Jesus, forgive me if I'm wrong on this. You know, there's been one instance in the Bible when a man was told to sleep with a woman and to get her pregnant, and he pulled out and released on the ground, and God killed him for it. But because he had a meaning for that dude to do that. A lot of people gonna be like, masturbation is wrong. Let me tell you something, people. I can't agree with that totally. Because if you single, you're gonna have problems in the flesh, people. I'm just being real. I'm gonna speak like Paul right here. I'm not speaking this by commandment. But this is me. I'd rather you masturbate than burn. And I ain't saying look at pornography and this, nothing like that. I'm saying, I'm just being real with the people. It's dangerous out there. God does forgive. I'm not encouraging masturbation. I'm saying, hey, you rather burn or burn. What you want to do? You understand what I'm saying? Use your discernment in regards to your life. Pray to the Lord. He'll show you what's acceptable for you. You understand? Just be careful out there, people. That's this body of yours. You only get one of them. And there's some incurable diseases that can't be cured. You just messed up. You just done. Then you can't get mad at the world because somebody don't want to marry you because you got herpes, or you got hepatitis, or you got HIV, or you got full-blown AIDS. Now you're mad at the world. Well, get mad at yourself first. You understand? Stop sleeping with every Tom, Dick, and Harry, like my mom used to say. Find you one wife. Find you one man, or wait until God sends that person your way. A lot of y'all claim yourself Christian and been going to the same church for 8 years and been shacking up for 8 years. And your pastor ain't said nothing yet. Hey, when y'all gonna tie tonight? You understand? It should have been about 20 sermons preached on that, or you probably just ain't hearing it. But people, that's all I got for you today. Marriage is honorable. Seek marriage. Flee fornication.